Hi, Steve here, the Laughing Stoic. Welcome back to the channel. So today I'd like to talk about what to do when it all goes wrong and you have to put it together in some sort of way to get through. So this is crisis time, and commonly for people this means it's a situation of loss. So let's imagine that the person you think most highly of in the world has given you the boot, and your boyfriend or girlfriend or somewhere in between, I can't tell from here, has departed and said that they've left for an unspecified length of time, which is generally unsatisfactory to you. So you're going to be feeling pretty bad. And this really happens to everyone during their lives. But some people are more vulnerable to feeling bad under these circumstances than others. You might have less friendship support or family support. You might have had bad experiences in the past, which this reminds you of. You might not have had a happy childhood. You might be subject to some sort of unfortunate psychiatric disorder, like a mood disorder or personality disorder. If those circumstances are the case and you do have some sort of mental disorder and you are in crisis, you probably should seek professional help first. And for other people, if the situation is enduring and your distress is ongoing, or you have any thoughts of hurting yourself, please get in touch with help. There's lots of 0800 type numbers available. I'll put the one for Australia down below in the information box. So if those are the case, yes, that is definitely a big problem. You definitely need some help from someone else. But for most of us, we have to battle along on our own, perhaps phone our mum once or twice, get some support. But how are we going to deal with things during the day when we have a bunch of bad feelings and difficult thoughts to contend with? How do we organise ourselves to get through this? Because probably the first thing to remember is all these things pass, They're not a permanent state of affairs in terms of the way that you feel. Feelings very rarely last forever. They come and go. That is kind of their feature, and they're just telling you what your situation is like. So this is a bad situation. No one's saying anything else, but you can manage it most of the time. So if you've got a stoic frame of mind, how are you going to do this? Well, if I just sort of walk through a situation in where you've been unceremoniously dumped, perhaps, or even dumped in bad circumstances, perhaps there's been some infidelity and such, which really can irritate and make you feel bad. Then the first thing to remember, I think, is the dichotomy of control. You do not control the other person's behaviour. However close you may have been to them, how much you admire them, or their attributes, you do not control their behaviour. Whatever promises have been made can, of course, be broken, and very few of them can be taken to court. So you're going to have to deal with the fact that other people's behaviour is beyond your control, and you're going to have to figure out how you deal with that situation. And of course, your behaviour is within your control, which is the good thing. And even if other people have told you to do this or that, you certainly don't have to do it. So the dichotomy of control kind of sets things up for where you go from there. I think it's important next to say that temperance is a useful thing to do. Some virtuous behaviour, don't take to the drink. It will probably make things worse. It certainly won't make them any better. It'll probably prolong the agony. Even if you do have the odd breakout, I wouldn't recommend it as an ongoing strategy for dealing with intense emotional difficulty. But do try and avoid other bad behaviours, such as hunting down and annoying your ex, or berating them by multiple contacts through various social and direct media. That probably won't do any good either, and is fairly intemperate behaviour. To be true, in most situations that I've seen in the past where people have some sort of disagreement or falling out, or things happen and they break up, if an aggrieved party is dysfunctional in their grief, it generally makes things worse for reconciliation. So if you're the aggrieved party, expressing your grief in multiple ways and multiple venues probably wouldn't help if you really did hope to renew the relationship or reconcile. So that perhaps is a motivation. It doesn't always work, of course, but one, you might not be so distressed, and two, if you've got any hope of reconciling, you will be able to pursue it. So what's next? Well, from the point of view of Stoicism, having moderated your behaviour, having accepted the fact that these circumstances are out of your control and you've been dumped, then you need to focus on looking after yourself. So you need to focus on maintaining your own well-being in the best possible way. And this probably does mean seeking some sort of support and company in the first instance. And that should be preferably achieved through your friendship support network. Although having another relationship may be a quick fix, it is generally an intemperate act and generally won't be a very long-term fix, and it can kind of double the trouble. If you go through relationships quickly and all of them fall apart, you're not going to be very pleased with yourself at the end of the day. So building yourself up, I would recommend kind of getting through your day in the best possible way, keeping regular habits, making your bed, doing chores, getting regular exercise, focusing on eating well, focusing on getting some company during the day, be it face-to-face or via telephone or other media, all can help you rebalance. So you've set yourself up, you've got some regular habits going, you're not doing anything to try and wreck yourself at this time, and you wonder how to go forward in life. So Stoicism kind of has a series of aphorisms about this, and I might not repeat them exactly, but essentially this is the sort of thing that you are made to deal with. These heartbreaks and troubles in life are part of life, and you're constructed to deal with them. It's harder sometimes when you're young or when relationships have been particularly long, but nonetheless it is part of human nature to encounter and deal with personal emotional difficulties. So it's not a surprise that it's happened in some ways, in a general sense of the word, and you can go forward from this. I think in general, the best sort of thinking to adopt, philosophy in this sense, is the idea that this is a situation that you are able to deal with, and that you will become stronger and better, you'll know yourself better, you'll understand yourself in the world better for dealing with it. And so taking a very firm view that this is grist for the mill, that you have to deal with these things at times, and now is one of those times, and that you are well equipped to overcome it. This may not be reflected in your emotions at times, but that doesn't really matter. They are just difficult emotions and should be kind of packaged up and regarded as such. That dealing with difficult emotions and dealing with difficult situations is kind of the nature of life, and that you are just the person to do that. In fact, the best person in place in your life to deal with these things. And what's more, having overcome difficulties like this, you will be a lot better at doing such things. You'll understand yourself a lot better, and you'll feel a lot better about yourself that you've overcome difficulties. We all feel better about ourselves when we're able to overcome difficulties and make something of the situation and learn something from it. So although it seems catastrophic at the time, it seeming catastrophic is just part of a problem, and a problem which you can encompass. So that might help a bit. If that doesn't work, probably you should go and talk to someone about it, get some counselling and support, because that does reduce the problem a bit and give you some encouragement and pointers for how to go forward. And the advantage, I guess, with counselling is that the pointers are much more personalised to you and your circumstances, and not just general advice given out on the internet like this. So If this is a situation in which you're troubled by these terrible things, I'm sorry for you. I give you every encouragement. I'm sure that you can come through this, and that you do need to kind of put your shoulder to the millstone, and that things will get better. And when they get better, they'll actually be better than they were before. So all the best. If you've enjoyed this video, please remember to like and subscribe, and we'll see you again in a week or two. Cheers.